and welcome to the channel. I hope you're all well. Today we're going to tie a dry fly, which could come in very handy if some other flies that you're casting are not being accepted by the rising trout. In the vise I have a size 22 hook, and this is a wide gape hook, and I think that this size is probably the right size for this fly, which is a parachute midge. So I'm tying with 12/0 black thread. I'm going to start that just a little bit back from the eye and wind on, trim up the excess, and wind back about halfway. Now for the post I'm going to use some Antron yarn, and this is actually quite thick for what I'm doing, so I've taken some off and I've thinned it out. I'm going to put this underneath the thread to create the post. Just give that one wrap to hold it in place, and then I'm going to secure it with wraps around the base of the post. Just work my way up the post with the thread. Now this is always a difficult thing to do at the beginning because there is no support in the post. So I'll just keep working my way up, and then I'll come down the post to give it more support. Back down to the hook. I'm going to wind the thread in touching turns down the hook, along the shank and around the bend, about halfway around the bend, and then I'm going to come back in open spirals to give it a ribbing effect. Back up to the post. Now for the wing, I'm going to be using black cock hackle, and this is a black collar. Just going to take out a suitable hackle. Take that one out. And I'm going to remove the softer fibres and the flue from the bottom. And I'm going to trim up the stalk for tying in. Now I've left some of the stalk bare for tying in up the post. Like so, and then back down again. This is all about creating some stability at the base of the hackle, and I'm going to trim up the excess stem from the hackle. Right, now I'm going to put a thorax on here, and I'm going to use a small piece of dyed black peacock herl. Just tie that in. I'll trim up the excess. And I'm going to wind this around the base in a figure of 8 to create a small thorax. And then I'm going to tie off the peacock herl. With a bit of luck, that should just break off. There we go. Right, now to wind the hackle, it's always difficult to begin with until you start getting some support into the post on your way down with the hackle. once you get to the sturdier part at the base, fibre there from the post, just keep on winding down below the previous turn. I think that is sufficient, so I will cross over my thread, pull back the hackle, not the apple, and tie down. And I'm going to use a 1/2 inch tool to tie off the fly. Like so, and trim up the tying thread. Now I am going to put a little bit of glue onto the knot just to secure it. Won't need a lot. Make sure the eye is clear. And I'm going to cut out the hackle. And now I'm going to pull down on these fibres to make sure that the hackle is relatively flat, and I'm going to trim up the post whatever length you like. Let's have a look, see how this is sitting. There's quite a few hackles just underneath there, so I'm going to take those out. And there you have the finished midge. It really is a relatively simple tying. Fish this on the river, but generally the midges don't hatch until the water surface is about 60 degrees Fahrenheit, which is around 16 or 17 degrees centigrade. But it could just save the day. Those rising fish, if they're not taking what you're offering, try one of these. A size 20 looks something like that, quite indistinguishable almost, but it's a larger hook. Get some in your box, give it a go, and don't hesitate to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.